What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Uncut, and today I'm joined by Ryan Fuller. What's up, baby?
How's it going?
We're in New York now, so what's up? What's new?
Nothing. We're just chilling. It's, here in the city, it's getting a little chilly.
Yeah, nice shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought we'd warm up with a game called Midlife Crisis.
Oh,
how
boy.
do you feel about this?
I feel like I'm going through one, so let's do it.
Okay. How this is going to work is I'm going to give 10 lists, 10 sayings, if you will. And we're going to give each other a point for every time it pertains to us. Okay. Midlife crisis game. Here we go. Number 1. Have you ever dyed your hair? Yes.
No, I don't have any
You
hair to dye.
Number 2. Who is the last... Okay, between the two of us, who purchased something more expensive? Definitely you.
Definitely
That's a you
me.
point.
Yeah, definitely
what was
me.
it? Probably your fucking Prada winter coat that you just showed
probably
up
the
in.
new coat.
Ridiculous.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Taylor.
Obsessed with a new hobby. I feel like you're getting into little new hobbies.
Yeah, I just opened a restaurant, so maybe that's a hobby.
I think that's a hobby. I'll keep my mouth shut for a second.
What's your new hobby?
I don't have a new hobby.
So how many points do I have?
You've hit every single one minus the hair. So right now you're at 3.
Perfect.
Okay. Changed your wardrobe to look younger. I don't think either one of us dresses any different right now.
No, I definitely don't.
Okay. Have you started hanging out with younger people? I think I make new friends who are younger all the time, though.
I think I'm just in the mood of making all new friends, so I don't think they're much younger. I think they're all ages.
Why are you making younger friends?
Why? I think I'm just, moving to New York. I think there's a lot more fish in the bowl, if you will. So I think
Fish in the bowl.
Yeah.
So we're not even in the
younger
sea
to
anymore.
older.
We're in the bowl.
We're in the bowl.
We're in the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Have quit their job to follow their dreams.
Me, definitely. Very recently.
Have recently moved to start a new life.
Definitely me.
Yeah, you moved a year ago. Have you recently been on a health kick with fitness? I feel like that's kind of both of us.
Yeah, I feel...
We're like in an era of trying a little harder.
I definitely am trying harder. I don't have the stress of a job, so I think that's helping with the health.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be up at 5 a.m. anymore.
Yeah.
Have you started posting more than usual on social media?
Definitely have, because I have the restaurant, so we have that whole new Instagram going on.
Have I posted more? I think I'm the same.
I think you're the same.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
You're totally the same.
Okay, last one. Have you been more sexually active than usual?
Definitely here in New York.
I think I definitely have been hoeing.
You have?
Yeah.
Across the world.
Yeah, but like also in New York. Anyways, so I only have 3.
And how many do I have?
I
8?
think you have about 7 or 8 for sure. So I guess the winner
So
of
I'm
the
the winner?
midlife crisis game is Ryan.
I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think that just means you're going through it. You know,
yeah.
you're going through life changes, right?
I think they're good. I think sometimes you have to mix it up.
Well, I guess we'll probably call this episode the midlife crisis, but I feel like you have a lot of things that we can unbox. So just for a reference point, people who are listening, Ryan lives down the street from me in New York. So we met maybe like a year ago when he first moved to New York. And I feel like we instantly connected in terms of like businessy things, creative things. I feel like I don't relate to people who just have a 9 to 5 and then they check in, check out. You're like one of those people who has like a million things that they want to dabble with and do. So like you used to have an insurance job. Do we want to? Yeah. And you quit what, a week ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a totally random, unplanned thing, but life moves that way.
So basically, Ryan quit his job from insurance, and now he's opening a restaurant. You're trying to do more social media things.
Yeah.
You maybe have a podcast studio. You
The one we're sitting in, maybe?
So Ryan's got a lot of things right now. So yeah, what would you say your passion project is right now? Like, what is one thing you're really pushing for?
Well, I think getting this restaurant up off the ground. I think
You want to drop it? Who is she?
Toast in Jeffersonville, New York. It's a cute little 35-seat restaurant that somehow I got roped into from my friend Michael. And I'd been in the restaurant business before, and I said, hey, let's do it again.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's a cute little town in the Catskills, and it's so far been great received, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's definitely not the corporate 9 to 5 insurance job. So
You know, and you get to sleep in now. So welcome to the real world.
I did. I didn't start my day till 10 o'clock today, which I've never done in the past.
Isn't that beautiful?
10 years. So,
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing, actually, let's start with this because one of the things, I mean, yeah, we're gonna get deep real quick. One of the things I feel like I admired about you is I feel like pretty early on when I met you is you disclosed to me of your HIV diagnosis, which I thought was like really nice of you. And I also feel like when people share really deep information, it makes you feel like closer with them because you're obviously opening up with them.
Right. No secrets.
No secrets, you know? Like I remember when I was first coming out and like somebody would be like, "Oh, are you gay?" And then when I finally started to say it, I felt like instantly like I had a different connection with these people because they actually were getting to know me. Like I wasn't playing a part anymore. I wasn't hiding something from them. I wasn't like looking at my phone being like, "Oh, I hope this person doesn't text me or they see someone Snapchatted me or whatever."
Or a friend out you with it, someone that knew. And, you know, so I think it's just better to be open and honest, although there will be a lot of people that'll be like, wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
So,
but also, like, not everyone needs to know everything about you, right? So, I mean, I get that part. But I guess so for someone who you obviously grew up in Pennsylvania, came from Pennsylvania, moved to New York a year ago.
Yep.
So, what's the difference in how people perceive you from Pennsylvania to New York?
Well, I think New York is definitely more educated on the whole HIV, you know, undetectable. What does that mean to me kind of thing. I also think there's a lot less judgment here. Not that there was a ton of judgment in Bucks County where I'm from or New Hope, but I just think it's a little bit more of a suburb. It's a lot smaller population. So I think it's just more accepting here, which has been, you know, more comforting for me to be more open about it, to be honest.
Did you know other people in Pennsylvania who also were like positive, or was it more like hush hush, like people don't talk about
I
it?
definitely, I mean, it's definitely more hush hush there. But I definitely have friends that I know are, they might not be as open about it. And I really haven't been open about it for the past, you know, whatever years it's been, until really moving to New York. And I just think it's better to be open and honest about it. And there's nothing, you know, with drugs today and medical today, there's nothing to really worry about in my eyes.
I mean, I also feel like if you don't talk about it, then like how are we supposed to normalize it, right?
Well, totally. Yeah. If you just keep everything a secret, it's, you know, there's no one that can get comfortable with it. So I think, you know, my mission for the next few years, maybe not mission's not a great word, but my, you know, personal mission, we'll say, is to just be more open and honest about it and, you know, go with the flow. And it's almost like not really caring what other people think because I'm on this like new trajectory in life.
Yeah. How does let's say your diagnosis like affect your dating life? Is it harder to explain to someone, or do you kind of just get it out of the way when you're messaging on an app?
No, I think it's definitely harder. I've been single for many years, and I think that's a lot to do with it. Just because I wasn't comfortable coming out with it, or when is the right time to come out with it, or, you know, that. So I think, you know, here, it's more about getting it out of the, you know, out in the open as early as possible. And if they're not cool with it, then, you know, see ya. Don't need to be ya.
But at least in New York, I feel like we talked about I remember we were watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and you just like kind of casually dropped it and like, oh, whatever. Yeah. And you were like, you didn't even like bat an eye when I just told you that. And I was like, well, you're number one, not the first person who's ever told me that.
Right.
Two, I feel like you hear of other people who have it and there's an education level on it. So you're not, oh my God, like I'm sure there's some people in Pennsylvania who would be like, oh my God, you can't share a fork with him or something, thinking like that's how you get it or something crazy, you know?
I think, you know, lucky for me in New Hope, I think there's a lot more openness towards it. But I think in other parts of Pennsylvania, maybe where I grew up as a kid, it would be like that. So, you know, I would never have told a friend, you know, let's say in my straight world, if you will, up there.
The straight world really doesn't get it. Although straight people are getting HIV at a more rapid rate than gay people. So that says something about that. What advice would you give to someone, because obviously a lot of people on here are younger for sure.
Right.
Like what advice would you give to someone who's younger who, let's say, maybe doesn't want to even take PrEP for starters?
Well, I think you should definitely get your education around it. I think it's very smart to take that. You know, we didn't have those drugs when I was growing up or even coming out or trying to navigate coming out. So I kind of wish I had more education around that. I might not be in the diagnosis that I am today.
But how old were you when you got diagnosed?
You know, it's funny. I was trying to think of that because you were going to ask me, and I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was in 2016, maybe 2017.
So like 10 years ago ish.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, let's say 10 years.
Okay.
I seeked medical attention right away. I got right on top of it. You know, did the whole drugs thing, testing, and I get tested regularly, and
Yeah.
it's all undetectable at this point and has been for many, many years.
Weirder question.
Yeah.
What was the, let's call it like telltale signs that you were like, oh, let me see what's up?
No, it was just pure ignorance. I hadn't gone to the doctor. I hadn't gotten tested. I just decided at that point in my life. I think it's actually when I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking for 5 years, and it was that point that I was getting my life together. Stopped drinking. Started concentrating on work more, and then said, all right, maybe you need to find a doctor that you can get all this stuff done.
Yeah.
And I went to a doctor in New Jersey that was recommended by a friend, and did the whole thing, and just bit the bullet head on and just took care of it. And I had some other medical stuff in 2018 that was somewhat linked to stuff, but I came out of that stronger, and I think you learn from that. And I think for me, it was also you can't hide behind it anymore. It is what it is. It's going to be your life for the rest of your life, and you don't want to. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be sitting in my room and not doing anything or not be out in the open on it. So.
No, I get it. Do you think that gay people now are very comfortable with it? That it's not so scary as, let's say, it used to be 10 years ago?
Totally. I think there's more education around it. I think the advancement of drugs around it, it's not a drug cocktail anymore. It's one pill you swallow every day.
Yeah.
You take it with your vitamins, you take it with whatever else you have to do. And I think the nice thing for, the younger generation is the education and is having PrEP and be able to do that and then be, safe about whatever you want to go and do.
Yeah.
And not be judged about it and, that kind of thing.
I actually recently, when I was in LA, somebody came to me and they were like, oh man, you want to use a condom? And I was like, bitch, I don't know you. Why not?
Right.
And he was so offended I asked to use a condom. And, I'm going through my little PrEP journey at the moment, but I'm technically not in the clear at the moment. So yeah, I still use a condom when I'm going to have sex with someone random for sure. Cause I don't fucking
I think it's
trust
smart.
gay people.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
But I was shocked when somebody was offended by it. I was like, why can't we use a condom? Who gives a fuck?
Well, I think because of all, with everyone being on PrEP and undetectable, whatever it is, I think people feel like there's not a use for the condom. So it's probably a very rare question that a lot of people get asked these days.
Yeah. But do you use a condom?
Yeah, if the other person's not comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. After that discussion, if there's any kind of uncomfortability, I think it's the right thing to do.
Do you think you relate to people who are positive more than people who are not? Do you see yourself dating someone who maybe is positive because you have that kind of shared?
No, I don't think there's a influence either way. I think because of, especially in New York, people I don't want to say not caring, but people educated and know what those risks are. And as long as you're undetectable in it, I don't think there is, I don't think it sways one way or the other, to be honest with you.
So as someone who did just move to New York, and I love this about you because your ass moved to New York as a 40-plus man, still below 50, so let's not push it here.
Yeah, thanks. Don't age me.
I was like, 40-plus man. You moved here thinking you were going to find a man in New York, which I find crazy that you moved here thinking New York was going to be some fucking, I don't know what you thought this place was going to be for dating, but this is the worst place for dating.
Well, yeah,
the worst.
Said the article that just came out a couple months ago. Thanks. It could have came out about a year ago before I moved here.
Yeah. So tell me, in your brain, living in Pennsylvania, why did you think this was a place that would be great for dating?
I think because I lived in. This is really an unboxing.
Yeah.
I think just living in New Hope, I was well known in New Hope. I guess still am. I guess I ran businesses there. My insurance business that I was part of was there. So I knew a lot of people. So I guess I didn't date too much in that area because of knowing people. So I think for me, it was just moving to any bigger city was going to be a larger dating pool and I was going to meet new people. So, I've gone on more dates the past year that I've been here, actual dates, than I did probably in the past 10 years in Bucks County. So I think, with the mission to come here and find a man, if you want to put it that way.
That was the first thing you said to me. I was like, oh, okay, good luck, girl. Let me know how this goes for you.
Yeah, but, the journey for me, too, is I've met so many new friends here, and whether they're dates or just friends or going out. And I think, to me, that's the real personal growth.
Yeah. No, somebody once told me, even if you're not sexually attracted to them, go on a date with every single person who messages you, because a date could mean so many things. Just because maybe we're not sexually connected or attracted to each other, maybe we could come up with like a good business idea together. Or maybe we have a shared interest of like seeing Charlie XCX or something that the rest of my friends don't like. You know, there's going to be commonality somewhere, and it's just where do you meet in the middle? And it doesn't always have to be sexual, you know?
No, it totally doesn't. And I have a friend that I go to Broadway shows with all the time because that's what we love to do. And there's nothing between us except really great friends. And I met him.
So you never hooked up with him?
No.
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
I know.
So now that you have been in New York for what, 1 year?
It's a little over a year, about a year and a half now.
Okay, so
almost 2.
Let's give you 1 year.
Yeah, all right, there you go. It's not official till it's 10, right? So
I'm still not even at 10.
So you're not even a true New Yorker.
I'm at like 9.5.
All right, we'll give it.
So we can round up. But 2025 will be my 10 years.
All right, we'll have to have a party. Celebrate a little bit.
I've actually contemplated having a party for my 10 years in New York and just invite everybody who I fucking hate and like and just put them all in one room and be like, here's my past, present, maybe some future, and just like see how they mix and mingle. Like these are all the people who helped me get to like wherever the fuck I am right now.
Let's do it. It sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, and who knows what
what could be bad of people that hate you, love you, and a bunch of alcohol?
Sounds like an orgy to me.
A fun one.
Yeah. So now that you're in New York for 1 year, like, do you think you've been outsourcing your dating life because New York is so hard to date, or do you think you're enjoying the time dating in New York?
No, I'm funny. I'm enjoying the time here. I'm enjoying meeting new people. I recently reconnected with someone I met a year and a half ago from another country who came to visit, and there was like a little bit of a connection there. So, it's like, okay, I moved to New York and now I'm like connecting with someone halfway across the country. So that worked out really well.
That's kind of cute though.
Yeah, really cute.
But I think there's something to be said about if you have a connection remotely, then that's like actually tangible, right? Like it's not sex based because you're just fucking and you're just like having good sex. It's like you have a good connection over FaceTime, and now you want to like meet up. You have to make an effort. It means more.
It does mean more, and it was like he lives in Mexico, and I met him when I was there vacationing Puerto Vallarta, and he always said, "Oh, I want to come visit you in New York," and I'm like, "Okay," and it like kind of never happened. I'm like, "All right, this is never going to happen," and finally did a couple weeks ago, and we had this
like real recent,
real recent.
Oh shit!
And we spent Sunday, Monday, Tuesday together before he went back, and it was just a fun 3 days. And I don't want to. I guess I miss him. And
he stayed with you.
He stayed with me, yeah. And it's like I picked him up at the airport. We had no idea what each other were going to be.
Why the fuck did you pick him up from the airport?
I was just trying to be nice.
Oh my god! If some bitch told me come to JFK and pick my ass up, I'd be like, the train will take 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes.
Well, to that defense, it was 6 a.m., so there was no traffic. It was very easy.
Okay.
But
that is very, very nice of you.
He went in an Uber back because it was in mid-afternoon. I wasn't going to spend that kind of time.
Yeah, fuck no. But that'd be like 3 hours of your day.
Yeah, but it was kind of fun because like he came to New York and we did things like New York things. Like he wanted to see the Stonewall, where like all the LGBT history is right here.
The touristy shit.
The touristy stuff. Yeah, we didn't like just club every night and that kind of thing. And it was just really fun. We did art museums. We walked through Central Park one day. So
that's so cute.
Yeah, it was cute. So I might be going there next month, or he might be coming here. So we'll see what happens.
So you're gonna like take it monthly and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not one to just sit and wait. I think
we know that. So, I think anyone listening for the past 10 minutes knows that as well.
I think if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I'm going to continue on all my other projects that I'm kind of working on.
Yeah, no, that's good.
It's fun.
So when you are in New York, right, for example, I feel like New Hope is pretty gay, though, isn't it? New Hope, Pennsylvania. I feel like that gives gay.
It totally is a very inclusive community. I think gay life there was much more popular when the Raven, Cartwheel, and Prelude were there, which is the 3 main establishments. Those have all since been gone or sold off. But it is a really LGBT friendly and populated area. So I miss it, but the action here in New York is just the action and things to do is so different. It's a great time of my life, I'll have to say.
So do you think you're going through a midlife crisis?
Well, I guess I'll be dead at 86 if that's the case. But so there I am, 43.
I don't know if I wanna live to be 90. I feel like once it's 90, I'm like, bitch, tap me out.
Yeah, I always say 75, 76.
Yeah, like we're good after
way
that.
I want to be pushed in a wheelchair. Or,
no,
not knowing
my balls will hit my knees by then. They're already almost
They're already halfway there.
I'm like, they gotta go up. I'm like, if girls get like a breast lift, I need a fucking ball lift, and I'm 32.
I think they do that, so you should check it out.
Oh, okay. Start a GoFundMe page.
Send the money.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so maybe it is a midlife crisis. I never really thought of it that way. I just thought of it, I guess I was getting bored in New Hope, and I had dinner with my friend Rob one day or one night. I think we were at my house or his house, and I said, I'm a little bored here. I really want to move to New York and try it. Was scared to do it. And he's like, I don't know what you're scared about. I'm like, well, I have a dog. I have a house. I have all this kind of stuff. He goes, rent your house and take your dog. It's that simple.
Facts.
And I thought about it that night, and I'm like, he's right. So I basically started doing some research. I was sneaking out of work, not sneaking out. I was taking a day off, coming to New York, researching buildings to live in and places that I wanted to live, and put a budget together and just bit the bullet and did it. I commuted back to Pennsylvania 3 days a week for work. So, I mean, I moved here for the experience, for the fun. I didn't move here for a job like I think most people do.
Your year sounded so crazy because I feel like you would wake up at literally like 5 a.m.
Oh,
and I feel like I've worked out at the gym with you before, and you would be like, "Oh, let's go early," and I was like, "Okay, we'll meet at like 7:30," and you're like, "No, I'd have to go at like 5:36."
Yeah, I was already in Pennsylvania at 7:30.
I can't even wake up for a flight at 5 a.m. I'm like, you know me. I think my biggest thing is like when people are like, "Oh, set an alarm." I'm like, I can't set an alarm.
Right.
The sound makes me actually want to kill myself.
But I'm like a morning person. Like I love getting up early. Like even today, even though I didn't start my day till 10 o'clock, I was up at 6:30. I chilled out with my dog. I had some coffee. I just kind of like
go at your own pace.
Yeah, relaxed. And and that's a little bit of a change because like you said, I was up 4:45, 5 o'clock, catching an Amtrak from, Penn Station to Trenton, driving to the office. I would get there 7:38, maybe 8:30. We opened at 8:30, and then I would grind out and come home.
It's truly something.
Yeah.
But that's like a typical first year in New York. You're finding your way. You're getting your footing. And I guess you almost have your footing. You're still outsourcing to fucking Jefferson, New York.
Jeffersonville. But yeah.
Jeffersonville, excuse me.
That's, I think, everything happens for a reason. The restaurant opened, a few weeks ago, and I quit my job a few weeks ago, and neither of them were planned to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
My plan was to continue working in the insurance business while opening this restaurant with Michael, and, things happen for a reason, and thank God they did, because I don't think I could run the restaurant and work the full-time job and do it all effectively, because the restaurant is, taking a lot more time than I thought. But it's been really fulfilling.
I mean, bitch,
and
you've been in the fucking kitchen.
Yeah, I know. I was cooking turkey bacon on the
She's
skillet
making
this
French
morning.
toast in the kitchen.
But you have to do it, and I think it's fun, and it's to me that's I'd rather be behind a hot stove for a few hours a day than now a computer for 8 hours a day. So I think that's great.
Yeah. I get that. But I do think there's something to be said about you lived here for a year, and now you have all these different business ventures, and I feel like that's the beauty of New York, because I feel like you can meet someone and they kind of inspire you to try other things and make you think different, where I feel like even like me growing up in Syracuse, everyone thinks the same way. Like I went to school to be an accountant because my dad was an accountant.
Right.
So I was like, oh, like I'll get a job right away. This makes sense. Like I'll just be an accountant. And then I couldn't pass accounting for 3 times. And I was like, okay, something
So numbers are not your thing.
is not matching up. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do like marketing because I like to draw, be a little creative. And then thank God I did, because imagine accountant Jeff. Would you hire me?
No, I'm not sure I would. I think I'd be in trouble with the IRS every year we file taxes.
I definitely, it's not my specialty, no.
But you found your specialty, right?
Did I?
I don't know. Did you?
What's my specialty?
I think just doing this. I think just being like an entertainer, walking on that dirt trail and asking people their underwear.
That is a nice highlight of the job. That is a good highlight of the job. Well, we have to retire the trail for right now because we're filming in Miami for winter. So we won't be back in LA
there's some trails
until maybe
down there
like
now.
February.
Beaches.
I think it's just going to be a whole different clientele, and I'm scared because I love Spanish guys.
Well, there's
and I feel like there's a lot of Spanish guys in Miami.
Maybe you'll find love.
Maybe I'll find love, I have been outsourcing recently as well, which is going good.
To where?
But we're disclosing
we're not
nothing
talking
right
about
now.
that? Okay.
No.
Oh, we can unbox me, but we can't unbox you.
This is my show, bitch.
All right, I'll let you have it. You take it over.
I was like, I'm not in the hot seat right now. But no, I feel like it's good, and so I feel like until it's something, we don't need to say anything, because I don't trust these bitches. You guys ruin things for me sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, the DMs can be messy.
I guess when you're in the spotlight, you have to have all that.
Is this the spotlight? This fucking 3 ring lights on us right now.
Well, there's some natural light too.
This is
so,
our spotlight. I mean, for like having a day of work, this is pretty nice. Yeah,
this
I
isn't
enjoy
bad.
this. Yeah,
This is
so
pretty good.
hard, right?
It's terrible.
Okay, so pivoting back to the Pennsylvania, New York pipeline, right? Let's say someone who's 40 says, I'm sick of what I'm doing, recently got divorced, maybe they've been single for the past 20 years, whatever it is. What advice would you give them to give them the push to move somewhere that they think would better their life?
Well, I think you have to weigh out the pros and cons, right? So when I made this jump, I literally made an Excel spreadsheet, and I had 1 column of pros, 1 column of cons, and then a budget.
Yeah.
But I don't think that should hold you back. I think if you want to set your mind to do something, it's all going to work out, right? So I made the leap here. Was I scared? Yeah, I think there was a little bit of scare, but I knew I could go back to New Hope if I needed to.
Yeah.
It's
also hour and a half away?
Yeah, 75 minutes. It's easy. Hour train ride, that kind of thing. So it's easy to get back. It's easy. I still have family there, of course. I have a ton of friends there, so I get back frequently.
Yeah.
I'm working on a project there now, so there goes.
It's always a project.
Always something. I can't escape New Hope or Bucks County, and I don't really want to, but I did want to, come here. So I think to answer your question, I think you just have to set your mind to it and not be scared to do it, because the next best thing could be waiting for you, and you're not going to realize that until you make that, leap or make that decision to, try something newer and change it.
No,
it's not going to change for you. You have to change it yourself.
I have a friend in Syracuse who's 33. And he said he saw a tarot card reader or something recently. And the lady told him, you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And your ancestors are pissed at you because you settled.
All right.
And he was so pissed and so offended. And I was like, well, what do you think you're meant to be doing?
Right.
He's like, you and I would always sit on my bed in college and we would talk and be like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to try for this. And he's like, you're not like doing that most famous, whatever the things in the world, right? Like I'm not like a fucking Meryl Streep or something, but it's like I put myself out there the best that I could with the cards I've been dealt to do whatever it is entertainment wise that I'm doing. And he did not. And I was like, well, why don't you just like move to New York? And his whole holdup was, I'm 33. Like you don't make friends at 33. And I think he has this mindset of like, since he is in a smaller town, it's harder to meet people who are like age appropriate, if you will, that most people who are 33 maybe are like starting to have kids or just got married, so they're not out as much, where I feel like you maybe see like the 25 and younger out, and then you see the like maybe 40 plus out because their kids are in high school or maybe more self-sufficient, but that like 30 demographic is nowhere to be found out because they're living and home
doing
and
that life,
doing that thing. And so I was like, you'd be surprised how many people like are in a city who are in your same situation. And it's not that it's a bad situation. It's that you are in the wrong situation because you waited so long. And why prolong this? Like, just fucking go.
Yeah, just do it. I think he needs to. I mean, I did it at 42, when I moved here. And, it is scary. Are you going to make new friends? Are you going to but if you're unhappy or need something, you got to just jump and do it, because there's no sense in being miserable your whole life, right?
Well, that's what's even crazier is I feel like he's dating people who are like 21, 22 because that's who he's seeing and the spaces he's going to. And I'm like, bitch, like you can't do this. And so I told him, if you want to date someone age appropriate, like you need to put yourself in a situation that is age appropriate. People like not saying go fucking look like a stalker at Home Goods and just start searching for girls in the candle section. Right. But I feel like if you're like in a college bar, what do you expect you're going to fucking find?
Yeah, that's all you're going to find. And people that want to party. And if you don't want to like party and you want to like settle down and date someone, you're going to have to go to, places that they're hanging out.
Yeah. In New York, where is a place you would go hang out to find a man?
Oh, wow.
Don't say the Eagle.
No, definitely not the Eagle.
Because we know that's where you go.
I mean, I've been there a few times, not a lot.
On a Wednesday night, you can find Ryan at the Eagle on Jockstrap
Sometimes
night.
Thursday.
What's Thursday's theme?
I don't know. I was there on Thursday with some friends from New Hope, so I don't.
Were you in a jockstrap on Thursday night?
No, I definitely am not.
Okay.
So,
but Wednesdays you are.
No, never. Well, maybe. That's a good question. I don't actually know where I would go to find an age-appropriate person like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just, for me, it's been like meeting new people and then being introduced to other people. And I think that's really where you're going to find. So I don't think it's going to sit at a bar. I don't think it's going to sit at a restaurant. I don't think it's going to, shop in Soho or something like that. I think you're going to find the more genuine people, which are friends with other people, right? Because they've kind of vetted them out for you already.
Facts. No, I think there's something cute about, I hate a birthday dinner, but I love a birthday party.
Right.
Because I think gay people can be so fucking cunty that if I go to a club, everyone's like this, like sipping their drinks, like in their own little bubbles, like no one's like mingling with other people. You go to like a birthday party or like a pregame in someone's apartment, every single person says hi to each other. Everyone's like, oh, blah, blah, I'm friends with Nick or Ryan or whatever the fuck it is. And so I feel like I love going to those like initial pre-games, even if I don't make it all the way out, because you know me, I'm not a 4 a.m. kind of fucking.
No, you're in bed. But I do think that because I think it's a more relaxed situation, and I think there's always a mutual connection. So that's really where I think networking is the best. I mean, I've networked my life, and that's I think why I know so many people and that kind of thing, and I'm really comfortable meeting new people and having them introduce and following up and hanging out and that kind of thing. I mean, when I first moved here, I had met, 2 guys who are my neighbor now, and I met them at a birthday party before even moving to New York. And I was walking my dogs down the street, and he says, Oliver says, "Hi, Peter." And I'm like looking around. I'm like, who the hell is Peter? Here, he forgot my name, but now we're like best friends, and they live next to me. We do dinners on Monday night and everything like that. So just from
is this the one you share a parking spot with?
No, that's Gabriel.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna name drop. I was like, are we name dropping?
We can name drop them. We love you, Gabriel. So I think but I did meet them through Gabriel and Jesse. I met them at Jesse's birthday party. So I think, here it is a year later, moving to New York, and then they find me on the street, and now, we've become really, really great friends.
Yeah, I do think the one cool thing about being gay, period, is that you could be 21 or you could be like 51, and everyone can still hang out in like a similar space. Where I feel like straight people don't get that.
Yeah.
But you can go to the Eagle, you could be in the Hamptons, you can be in Fire Island, and like everybody, all ages, is together, partying, pre-gaming, whatever it is, in the same space. Straight people don't have that.
No, and I think that's because I think, with, being gay and it wasn't as comfortable as it is now for a lot of people, I think, no matter what your age was, you just all had to be friends and you all had to be comfortable around each other because you were all kind of in the same boat. I mean, that was my friend demographic in New Hope. I mean, we had, let's say new gays at 21 coming in and then, hung out with, people in their 70s, and they were like kind of the patriarch of the community down there. And it just, everyone jived and everyone got along and everyone's at parties. And that's still what the parties are down there. It's a variety of ages. And I think that you see that anywhere.
Yeah. You invited me to a pool party, and I would have liked to go.
Yeah.
And you showed me pictures.
One invite and done, so don't expect it next year.
Oh, excuse me. Well, fuck off. I'll be busy, I guess, by that point.
Shocking.
I know. I'm like literally always drained. No, because I feel like you even showed me pictures from that pool party, and you had a stripper in the pool. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
I feel like his balls were floating around or something. But my point of saying this is everybody in the pool, there was like 21-year-olds drinking in the corner. There was like a 50-year-old who was like going off the diving board, mix and mingle everywhere. Like it looked cool that there was all these different walks of life in one space.
All walks of life, all body types, everything, and nobody's really, that judgy about it. I'm sure there's some judgy going on, but I just think that's, I think that's the nice thing about this community is everyone tries to be at least friendly or introduce people to each other and network and, kind of thing. And it's not, by the decade or separated by the decade in the party or something like that.
The minute you turn 30, you're like, oh, no, you're at this table now.
See ya.
Can't hang out with us. No, going back to body type, though, do you think body types and like things like that have changed? Because I don't want to presume, but I'm assuming in New Hope, maybe it's less body charge that people need to have a 6-pack or people won't talk to you for certain things. Where I feel like in New York, there is times of people who will like literally even look at me and call me fat.
Right.
Or they say I'm cringe or whatever they say, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's more focus on you as a person here than maybe they would be in Pennsylvania.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
You haven't noticed that?
No, I haven't actually, because I never really judged people in that type of way, if you will. I always, if you have a shitty personality, you're not going to be my friend. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. I don't even want you. And don't think you're going to get invited to the party. But I think if you have a nice personality, whether you have a 6-pack or a keg, it just goes on. You can all get along. You might not be sleeping together, but you just at least can get along and be friends. So
that's true. Yeah, it goes back to like everyone has something to offer.
Right.
But now that you we're New York girls, right? And
We are here.
thoughting, thriving, connecting, all the things. Have you noticed like a difference in your connections here as opposed to New Hope? Like, do you think you have closer bonds with people in New Hope because there's that like shared commonality of like growing up together? Not that you grew up with these people, but I mean,
no, I totally think, I mean, since it's only been a year, a little over a year, my bonds in New Hope are, anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe even 15 years long with some friends. So making, new friends here, we've known each other a year, and I think we've become really, close friends. But, I think it's just, you're still growing. I think, you're meeting people, growing, you jive with some, you spend a month or two with some, and then you're like, he's kind of boring, or he's kind of a dud. Like, let's move on.
There is like a trial period of like meeting a new friend.
Totally, there is.
That doesn't mean,
I mean, they could be great on the street, and then you go to the bar, and they're the biggest drunk, and you have to drag them home. And like, I don't want to be around that. I did that for years.
Wait, I just thought of a weird, funny question.
Oh no.
Because I feel like me and you just like randomly met, and I got to be honest, I would never expect from first meeting you to think this is where we are right now.
I never.
And I don't mean that in a shady way.
No, I totally agree. 100%. I mean, I used to follow you on Instagram from New Hope when you had, the pages going and everything. And
the traveling bum.
Yeah.
I
didn't know if we could mention that or not, but
she's
hey.
fine. I mean, she's dead, but she's fine.
And I never thought either from our first meeting to now, like, we've become good friends. I mean, we talk on a weekly basis or daily basis and do things and, go get dinners and whatever it might be. And, now here we are chatting into a microphone, casting away.
Talking shit. Talking shit. So, guys, this can be you, too, if you're not a piece of shit in the DMs.
Yeah. Sign up now.
No,
right.
not that.
Oh, shit. All right.
You can subscribe, though.
We'll start there.
Yeah, subscribing is a good start. Be a normal person is a good start. I just, like, don't really fuck with, like, a fangirl, so I feel like that's the part that you never came off that way. You were just, like, a normal guy just trying to chill.
Yeah, that's all. I think, again, it was just, for me, it was more about just meeting new people and, like, I'm not here to, climb a social ladder or anything. I think, that's way beyond what I even have the energy to do. So I think finding genuine people just to hang out with is really it was why I moved here and what I want to do.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to end this. We do have to wrap this up.
We do
sadly.
already?
But I'm going to 2 more questions for you that we're going to go on both sides of this. Okay. Going back to the topic of HIV.
Yeah.
If somebody got diagnosed and was like really, really upset about being diagnosed, what resources or like what programs are around, or, like what can people do?
Yeah. There's a ton of organizations that can help. I mean, you could just Google your area. There's a ton of nonprofits that will help with that. I mean, and then just reach out to other friends. I mean, you can go on Grindr and, search undetectable, and I'm sure people would be, willing to at least chat or give you guidance on what to do. But I think, there's such a support system in the, community that there's nobody that should be, depressed sitting at home and worrying about it. I think, talking and getting out there is the best thing for it.
Yeah. Would you be one of those people who people?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can message Ryan if you want to have a heart to heart.
Yeah. Be happy to chat it through.
And then I guess our last piece of advice, I could throw some advice in on this one.
All right.
But for somebody who, no matter what your age is, this person could be 51 or they could be 21, but their family is like, why the fuck would you leave us? Don't move to a big city. You don't know anyone there. You're not going to last. All the negative things, right?
Right.
What advice would you give to that person who feels deep, deep down that they need to go?
You got to follow your passion with it. You got to follow what you want to do. It was hard for me to finally make that decision. And then I just started telling family, and everybody was really receptive to it and happy that I was kind of going on that journey to figure it out. I don't think there was anybody in my family who was negative about it. Sometimes I get a little passive aggressive text messages saying, you haven't been at family functions or whatever, but you can't go back for everything either. You have to stay on your journey. And, if you're going to move to a new city, you need to explore it and put some things behind you, and, it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest thing is like, you have to understand if you are going to move, you are going to miss out on things.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because you're moving for a reason, because those things are not fulfilling you in whatever capacity, like whether it's family shit or like your high school friends and you just are living different lives. you're going to miss out on things, and maybe you're meant to miss out on things. You don't need to be there for everything, but
And I don't think you do. And I think, on the other hand, I think the other side of that is the family has to respect that you're here on this new journey. And where you're from is a lot further from the city than, from me, from New Hope. I mean, I'm an hour and a half, 75 minutes, and you're a few hours.
Syracuse is 4.
Yeah. So it's, it's harder for you to get back. It's easier for me, but still it's like, you still got to get back there. I mean, I was supposed to be at a dinner last night, and I just decided, I needed to stay in New York, and actually had something else that came up, but it's just a lot to go back for one dinner, even though you want to be around those folks.
No, it's too much. But yeah, I would say if you feel deep down inside, because I think this is my biggest thing that I always say to myself, if I'm like contemplating, I'm like laying in bed and I'm like, oh, do I really want to go out or like whatever? And I'm like, am I going to regret going out or not going out, or moving or not moving? Right. And I think as you get older, you would regret not trying, knowing like you can always go home. Like home's not going anywhere.
Right.
Like you always still have a place, family, friends, whatever the fuck it is. But this place, and as you age, like, even not saying I'm aging, but like there's certain things that I can only do for so long, right? Like I can't run around the street at 50 and say, "Can show me your fucking dick."
Right.
Like it's not going to translate the same way.
You have to morph a little bit into something else.
So I think there's no time like the present. And so if you feel like you got to go, fucking leave.
Go. And it's, the worst it's going to be is a year, right? You have to, like, I signed a year lease when I first moved here. I renewed it because it was still
or
getting
get
my
a
footing.
sublease.
Or do a sublease.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of options to try it out. Get an Airbnb for a week and see if you even love city life and the noise and everything that, you don't get in the suburbs here. But I think you're right. I said, if you have that dream or you have that idea you want to do, just, take it and run with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to regret it later in life. That's for sure.
Don't regret your life. And we are like weeks away from the new year. So no time.
No time but the present.
You did move it right around New Year's.
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
A couple months after, but I wanted to get through the holidays. I wanted to get settled. And, I was which is rare for me, I was very planned out in this move. Usually I'm very spontaneous on things, but I felt like this big of a change, I had to be a little bit planned out on. So I started in October and moved in March 1st.
Oh, that's like a whole ass.
Yeah.
That Excel sheet must have been fucking lengthy, girl.
She was a big one, and
Damn.
I'm not great at those sheets.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ.
Those formulas were not mathing.
Oh, I mean, don't get me started on the math. All right, so tell everybody where they can find you, from Restaurant Ryan to...
Restaurant Ryan. So
I guess you're just Restaurant Ryan, because they're not going to come to this office.
No, they're not coming here. Come visit. Toast Jeffersonville is our Instagram handle, or Fuller333 is my personal one. So
yeah, if you want this man, he's available.
I'm here in New York, Jeffersonville and New Hope.
And don't ask him for my address.
Can't give
but we
that
are
out.
close by.
It took me months to get the real phone number.
Oh my God! Wait, should we unbox it? That's actually really funny.
Yeah, that is funny, right? We should unbox
Oh my God. This is something kind of fucked up that I do to people.
But I was very smart on this, though.
God.
Because this bitch is holding an iPhone and I'm getting a green bubble in the text messages. So I knew something was up here, and I totally called you out on it.
Not me getting embarrassed for 2 seconds. No. Okay, so my big thing is like I don't share my phone number with people.
Right.
I have had horrible experiences. I've been catfished. I just feel like there's no reason to give someone a phone number sometimes. Like, I need to meet you multiple times before like I actually give you my phone number. There's really no point to give it out. So I use something called Google Voice, and it's an app, and it gives me a phone number. And so every time I meet someone new, let's say like Ryan, who, is a neighbor, I'm going to see around, but I don't know him. I didn't know anything about him. So I was like, why do I want to give this man my personal number that I've had since I was fucking like 10?
Right.
So I was like, I just give him my Google Voice number. We text, we call. It's all very normal. And it is green. So
I was like, And actually, the second time we hung out, I'm like, it's green, but I swore he had an iPhone the first time. So, the minute we met up, or I forget what we were doing, I'm like, that is an iPhone. That bitch has a shady number.
It is like my burner little something. Yeah. Because
I have a burner line now too. So
you get it.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
How long did it take for me to give you my number? I don't remember. I think you actually called me out about it, and that's when I
did call you out, but you still didn't share it. It was when you traveled somewhere and your Google Voice was only working on the internet, and you're like, I think you've earned the real number. Don't give it to anyone. And I literally have you in my phone as, Jeff Perla confidential. So I know I don't give
so
that
it's
number
like
out.
that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
But you
so-
have given out the Google Voice number.
No,
I'm
I
just kidding.
don't give
I'm
out
messing
people's
with you.
numbers unless, I check in with you first on it. But,
Messing with you.
my
That's
thing
so
would be
funny.
to give the wrong number out. So I had to, delineate in my phone to make sure it was secret.
So I just don't ask me for my number. Yeah.
That's all right. Well, you have the Google Voice number. Give that out.
So that is a fun fact about me.
We had to unbox something. I couldn't be the only one in this spotlight.
I
here.
was like, damn, I feel like my face is so red now
It
from
is a
this.
little red.
Okay, well, you guys can tune in next week for another episode of Uncut. Ryan, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Until the next one. All
Enjoy.
right, guys, happy holidays, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.